today's host, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Let's Talk Film, a film review series for women which allows their contemporary voices to be heard on all types of film releases. We'll be reviewing Before Midnight, the third film in the romantic trilogy written by Julie Delpy, Ethan Hawke, and Richard Linklater, directed by Richard Linklater. We're shooting here at West 3rd Common, a popular gastropub offering up fresh spins on comfort food favorites. It's located here in Greenwich Village on West 3rd Street between Mercer and Broadway and surrounded by the sprawling campus of NYU. Even historic West Washington Square Park is just a few blocks away. With its daily happy hour and monthly themed beer dinners, West 3rd Common has proved to be a great hangout for after work, late night nibbles, sports, and more. Let's go inside and check it all out. We're here today at West 3rd Common talking with Carrie. How long have you been here?
Well, I've been working here for about 2 years now, and originally Dan opened the place I think about 3 years ago, but before that he had opened his first bar, Common Ground, on 12th and A.
Tell us about what kind of specials you have.
Here at West 3rd Common, we have happy hour from 12 to 8, Monday through Friday. It includes our draft beers. They're $4. That's the most popular. And then we have our well drinks, wines, Cosmos, and Appletinis. They're all $5. So we have brunch from 12 to 4 on the weekends, where we do unlimited drinking, which includes your entrees, all for $30.
What are your favorite things?
I definitely think the wings are my favorite. And then the burger. The burger is really good here. It's nice and it's like comfort food, you know?
Okay, so, that's cool.
Nice little place to relax on the couches and have a burger, you know? We just added Brussels sprouts to the menu. They're fried and tossed in certain sauces. They're like our vegetarian version of the wings. And then we have pretzel coated. Yeah, it's like American bar food. It's nice. It's you know what? It's a lot of it's fried, but a lot of it's really good.
Okay. What were you gonna say about pretzels?
We have the pretzel coated chicken fingers too.
Pretzel coated. That sounds good.
I know.
Do you have desserts, things like that?
We do. We have
Special
desserts.
things?
Yeah, we started doing desserts about 6 months ago. They do really well. We have cookies and milk. We have a no-bake cheesecake, which is super delicious. It's like really rich and yummy. And then we just now put on a strawberry basil shortcake panna cotta. That's really nice and refreshing for summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Good, cool.
yeah, lots of options to come by for.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
for letting us shoot here.
Not at all. Thank you, guys.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, now let's meet our panelist, Justine Harrison.
Hi, how are you?
Justine Harrison is a New York City-based actress. She is currently a lead in the web series Unsung Heroes. She also does sketch comedy with the group Guilty Pleasures. She was a lead in the feature film The Last Intervention, co-starring Hemke Madera of Weeds. Today we'll be reviewing the third film in the romantic trilogy Before Midnight, written by Julie Delpy, Ethan Hawke, and Richard Linklater, and directed by Richard Linklater. Recently a critic at a press conference said that the actor and writer Ethan Hawke said that many of the dialogue-driven scenes in the movie would have been thrown out of any screenwriting class. So, you know, what do you think about that?
I think it's completely accurate. I definitely agree. I mean, because there was just a lot of it was just like what people talk about in real life. And in a cinema class or like in a filmmaking class or a screenwriting class, you have like beginning, middle, conflict, denouement, you know, that may have been before the conflict. But, so yes, I completely agree with him. I think he's right. But I like that about the films, that they're really authentically, like, especially this one, the dialogue is so authentic. Like, it really feels like I'm talking to my friend.
Yes, absolutely. If that was in a screenwriting class, someone they'd be yelling at you because there's no story arc, and it's just huge clunks of dialogue, which is, I think, why we like it, because it doesn't follow Hollywood convention in that respect. In other respects, I think maybe it does. But yeah, but at times I didn't like that. I felt like at times that it went on too long. It worked very much for me in the first two films, and in this film I felt like sometimes it went on and I didn't know why it wasn't stopping. If it had been a real conversation, it might have stopped. Do you think this film stands alone, or is it impactful because it's part of the other two?
I think it's definitely, it's kind of both. I mean, I think that without the other two, it would be a completely different film. But I think that definitely. I mean, because if it wasn't like if it wasn't for the other two films, this film would just be, what would really be special about, like the writing's so wonderful and the acting's really great, but the context in which it's in, which is like this like amazing story of like two people meeting and then like not seeing each other and then meeting again, like it really helps put it together. And I think it kind of definitely is impactful because of the other two.
Well, it's interesting. I wonder if, because we both saw the other two, but I wonder if you hadn't seen the other two and you just saw this movie, if you would care about these characters in the same way that we do because we know their backstory. So I don't really know. I would almost like to have a person here who hadn't seen the other two and see how they feel. Do they care about Jesse and Celine, their relationship? Does that matter now? I mean, we know their whole lives. It's almost, so I don't know. I don't know if I would care if I hadn't seen the other two so much. It would be an interesting film, but I don't know.
Were the filmmakers kind of just like falling back upon the fact that they knew that they had kind of like a cult following?
To
like,
some degree, probably.
I think they were definitely continuing a story along, and they knew that they had maybe, I don't know how much, but a good amount of the people probably had seen at least one or both of the others.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, because we both know we were fans, so
yeah,
I don't know.
It.
Does this film remind you of Woody Allen movies?
I mean, yes, in some ways. It's because it's sort of funny. I mean, there's a lot of like kind of funny, especially there was like laughter and laughing out loud in Before Midnight, and I think there's some lines that were just really, not even, that were just delivered really well and that were satirical, funny, kind of like spunky, funny. Yeah, I mean, and it has a small amount of characters. It would be interesting if Woody Allen had done these films. I think it would be completely different. But yeah, in some ways it does kind of old school, even though it doesn't take place in New York, like it kind of feels in some ways like New York. Mm-hmm. Well, all three of them, even though it's Vienna, Paris, and Greece.
Yeah.
Like walking around a city and just experiencing it.
I think anytime we see a movie like this kind of movie, people always equate it with Woody Allen because he is in many ways the inventor of this style of walking and talking and making people laugh from real life events, or he's the one who's done it in the most mainstream way that we know about. I'm sure there are other indie filmmakers who've also done it. So it always does that. And Julie Delpy's movies, 2 Days in New York and 2 Days in Paris, everyone was comparing them to Woody Allen because they also were the same kind of, walking and talking, and yeah, so it's just a natural comparison. What were your thoughts on the cinematography of this film?
Wonderful. I mean, I felt like I was in Greece and I've never been there. So, seeing the weather, and it was really pretty. He was sitting on the kind of beachy area, and it was just looking out into the water, and it was so pretty. I loved it. I thought that it was definitely helped the film. It was great.
I thought it was interesting, aside from it being a beautiful setting, that they made it very natural. They have scenes where she's nude, but she's kind of nude, and she's just like very regular.
Yes.
It's not a glamorous kind of thing. She's just like a
regular.
Real woman.
Like a normal person, like a normal couple.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting, the cinematography that we were seeing. It seemed effortless, we didn't realize, and it seemed so natural. It seemed like an early independent film.
Yeah, like how the other two were. Like a lot of close-ups, a lot of just them, which is lovely.
Did you like or dislike the film?
I liked it a lot. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great. I will definitely get it on DVD to complete my set. It was different. I can't deny that it was different than the first two, but I feel like they were really able to show like the growth of a relationship and how when you first meet or when you like just start, it's like a different place than where you are 2 years later, 5 years later, like 9 years later. Like it's a completely different place, but yeah, I thought that the dialogue in this one was just so natural, especially when it became to the two of them. It was a little longer in the scene with the other characters, but especially in the scene with the two of them, it just felt so real and like back and forth, like natural.
I liked the film. I did not love it as much as the other two. I really enjoyed seeing the evolution of these characters through the years. And yeah, I mean, I liked it, but I would have actually preferred to not have the other characters in it and just keep the two of them again, because I didn't need them or felt they added anything, except for their daughters. They were adorable.
Yeah, and
they
the
were
daughters
fine.
and his son. I mean,
And
I
his
think
son,
that,
yes.
I think that his son, like,
He added a nice dimension.
and
but
it was like one of the main things that propelled the different, like the arc and the argument of like, and
Yeah,
where
we
the
needed
characters
to see
were,
that.
and the difficulties of doing that, which is like having a second marriage.
But there was a whole thing with the retreat, the writer's retreat he was at, or the retreat, and that whole group of actors who represented them, I suppose, at different times in their life, the different couples. But I didn't think they were necessary, and that was actually the point of the movie that lagged the most for me. So
I thought that
it was mixed. I liked it, but
I completely understood why they did that. I just think it could have maybe been a little shorter. But I didn't dislike that they added other characters, but I would have liked a little bit more time with just the two of them for sure.
did you notice any reaction from the audience while you were watching the film?
Yeah, a lot of laughter. I mean, not like hysterically or over the top, but many of like the quips, like the really quick jokes, the kind of real life humor. When he said the thing about Václav Havel, I laughed and other people laughed. And just in general, there were some like really funny moments. Like, and it was kind of about real lifeness. They didn't take themselves too seriously. Like, they realized what they were making. They weren't making like a huge drama. But yeah, I would definitely say that there was definitely some good laughter during the more funny parts, or funnier.
Yeah, me too. Lots of laughing audience on even tiny little subtle things that you might, like maybe I didn't laugh at, but they caught everything. They were wanting to laugh.
Yeah.
They were enjoying it. You can tell it was a receptive
Yeah,
audience.
same. They were definitely enjoying it too.
If you weren't on this panel, would you have seen this film?
Definitely, because I loved the first two. I was really looking forward to it ever since I saw it credited on IMDb. Like, I mean, I kind of had a feeling they would make a third one, and then I like definitely saw it credited, and I was very excited. So yes, I definitely would have. Would you have?
I actually did. I saw the film the weekend it came out, and I didn't know that I was going to be on this. I was going to be the host. So yes, and I've been waiting for it for a long time to come out.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, so it's so fun to be talking about it.
I know, I
yeah.
loved it.
Great. And now let's switch gears to one of our new segments, Video on Demand, Picks of the Week. Here's Mimi.
Thanks, Danielle. This is Video on Demand Pick of the Week. I'm Mimi Spillane, and today I'm talking about We Steal Secrets, the story of WikiLeaks and its controversial founder, Julian Assange. It's written and directed by Alex Gibney, and among its producers are two women, Alexis Bloom, a documentary producer, and Jemima Khan, well known in British society. We're in Lower Manhattan, one of the most surveilled areas on the planet, and not far from where 9/11 happened. 9/11, of course, led to the exponential growth of government surveillance of phone and internet and digital media usage. Among the important issues discussed in this documentary are Private Bradley Manning and his treatment by the U.S. military, which drew worldwide condemnation. The video that first put WikiLeaks on the map, if you will, that showed an Apache helicopter attacking people in Baghdad. There are terrific production techniques in this documentary. As a news producer and piece producer, I liked them a lot. It's a long piece, long-ish, 2 hours, 10 minutes. I suggest you have your rewind button available because I did have to back up a couple of times to pick up on some of the points that they make. There's a lot of information, and a lot of it will make your blood pressure go up no matter what side of the debate you're on. Now, as this is Video on Demand, I'm using 4 remotes for my scale of recommendations, and this one, I'm giving 4 remotes. I suggest you see it. I'm Mimi Spillane. This has been Video on Demand Pick of the Week. I'll see you again soon.
Well, we've run out of time, but I'd like to thank you for being here and sharing your thoughts and opinions.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
It was a pleasure having you, and I'd also like to thank Dan for allowing us to shoot here at West 3rd Common. Again, today we're discussing Before Midnight, written by Julie Delpy, Ethan Hawke, and Richard Linklater, directed by Richard Linklater. Be sure to check this out and more on our website online at www.letstalkfilm.com, which is also available on your mobile devices. I'm today's host, Danielle Winston. Until next time, keep watching and keep talking film.